We go. Another show here, April 4th, 2025.
This is not April Fool's.
No, it's not. It's us.
I know some of you would like it to be.
Right? This is the only show that we know of that you get sports, politics, and nothing's researched. It's just right from the hip.
Straight from the hip, baby. Why got a rocker here
Do I dare say we have probably a 70% correct rate?
Correct rate.
Which isn't bad for shooting straight from the hip.
Oh, MSNBC has a 3%.
True, that's true. And we have actually more viewers than they do. Except, well, even the nights I tune in just to get pissed off. No, today, big day. April 4th, 1972 was the day they broke ground on Rich Stadium. And today, in 2025, I'm not going to do the math and figure out how many years later, they topped it off with the last piece of steel.
That would be 53.
53 years, and that last piece of steel went in today, and it's going to mark the end of nip steel because we are going to start making our own good, solid American steel.
Yeah, but Trump's really screwing up.
Yeah, he is. We'll get into that a little later. No, it's kind of an exciting day. My question is,
oh shit!
I know we're all going. Your sons went, and we're going to be going pretty soon for these PSLs and the 30 years. Goodell said something funny today. He said, I'm sure this will ensure the Bills here for decades. Well, what do you mean you're sure?
It definitely
I got a PS. I'm going to sign a PSL that says 30 years.
Yeah, it's going to, you Jamestown idiot.
But the other thing I find interesting is the 30-year lease, right? But this stadium being built in 2025, I'm thinking by 2045, 48,
Need a new one.
it's going to be deplorable.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? They were saying that the bottle holders, the cup holders, will be deplorable.
Right, and so these stadiums don't last anymore.
No, 15 years.
Cleveland opened theirs the 205 or something.
No, 99 when they got the
99.
team back.
So they're building a new palace. But
25 years time. That's all they're good for.
I know these stadiums. I know KeyBank's deplorable.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, in some places, because it was two buildings, there's a seam, and on windy days it opens. You have to be very careful walking over there.
Rain comes in. Yeah.
No, in all sincerity, Detroit, Michigan, you can't drink the water out of the tap yet. They've had 4 palaces for just hockey. I'm sorry, but these guys are going to have to learn to, wear these buildings out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Another curious question. We need to. Sorry, everybody, my leg's a little sore, and I'm trying to get comfortable with it. The PSL, right, for the games. If you're just buying a single game ticket, do you need to apply for a permit?
No.
You don't, because you need a license to buy a season ticket.
Right.
Don't you need some type of, for a single game ticket?
So to be very honest with you, I don't think I think every single seat in that stadium, other than standing room, will have a PSL attached. Whether it's to brokers, there are brokers.
Oh,
and
got you.
Or to the so I think every seat will be owned by somebody, and then you buy it in the secondary market.
So
that's what it seems.
PSL is involved. Just you might not know as a consumer.
Correct.
And way we say from Vince Callisto, caveat emptor.
Let the buyer not buy.
Right.
No.
And Mr. Pignataro, who said, "Ow, that's hot." Anyway, so no.
I digress.
No. Right.
Anyway,
When he watches. Anyway, so that's happening. That's exciting. Your guys went, and my daughter's boyfriend's mom went, and grandma. And I guess when you can actually go through one set of gates and be involved in the experience and not even go to the game.
Yeah, it's very cool. Outside. And they're going to have bars and food trucks, not restaurants, that you go in, you don't have a ticket, you can hear the roar of the crowd, you can stay the whole game.
There are spots, there are going to be benches that will vibrate when the crowd roars to give you like a Disney feel.
Right.
And the nice thing about it is, like the food trucks, like for example, the roast beef on Weck, not a sandwich they said under $80. So it keeps it affordable for a family.
Don't do it.
Sorry, guys, I can't get on with this stupid like drinks. Of course,
don't do it.
If you leave a loved one who's a drinker outside the seats, you might find him bankrupt if he's buzzed.
I was going to say he won't only be buzzed; he'll be out of money for years.
$2,000.
And 50 beers.
But anyways, it's the new way, and we're on board, and we're one of the smallest markets. and we're battling all the big boys, right?
It looks, it really looked cool. I love the fact that you can go in anywhere around the stadium. There's entrances everywhere. North and south entrances. There's escalators to go up to the 200 and 300 level. Kind of like Joe Robbie Stadium, or as it is called today, Hard Rock. Very cool. Everything's like over the field.
They're going to have elevators for the not only the disabled, but they're going to be red ones that will be marked just for the
Lazy.
obese.
The obese.
Because the obese, they need to be lifted up and into their seats.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, by the way, I fit in a regular seat in the 400.
And if you're obese, don't send letters, to the station. That was just a shot I threw.
Well, because I am. But I actually walk. I don't take elevators. But anyway. No, it was really cool. It's going to be neat. I thought Pagula was the most relaxed I've seen him today at the, the topping off of the last steel beam. He cracked a joke. He says, I think Josh Allen now makes more than I do. I thought it was funny.
And I like the idea, seriously, about recognizing the people that worked on the stadium in some kind of an area. That's really a cool idea.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't know exactly what, but he'll get some techie. And what I think they'll do is you can go to a computer in an area and type in, Don Morlock. And
that would be cool.
And if my father worked on it, it would pop up.
And a lot of memories, and it seemed like he was getting a little emotional thinking about his dad, and
it was.
That brought back me to, I remember being in Rich Stadium, and my dad's company had, not where he worked, had seats across the way. We were on the Bills side, and he was across the way in the Reds then, right? They weren't club, well, they were, I guess, club, but
they were more expensive,
as
but
fancy.
They weren't the seat licenses.
See my mom and dad sitting there. I still can remember looking across the way, like after a game, okay, mom and dad are getting up, and then we head out, but it just brings back a memory of that. But
well, the memories are going to flow. I mean, in February, March of 27, right after the 26th season, the first year there, they're going to bulldoze Rich Highmark and make that a parking lot, and that's going to be a sad day. We were talking about it with the guy, and he said that they're trying to secure the rights to the inside things of the stadium because Erie County owns the stadium, and so they could sell, like, for example, if you had a seat, you could buy your seat. Obviously, the benches everywhere, you can't really do that. But anyway, they're thinking about something like that. They did say they're going to tweak it as they go, but they will have a standing room only section.
Right.
And there was worry that it would happen like in Dallas, where you'd have an SRO and you would just run to the standing room so that you could get a better view around the rail.
It's called an Aribo alert.
It's a,
yeah.
And so, at least down there it is. And then, but they're still going to do it. And he said that they're going to look into the design. Maybe there's a little bit of an angle to the concrete, so if you're flat and you're back 20 rows, you're not going to see anything.
I would be hopeful that OSHA or someone would step in too, because if someone was to slip or maybe imbibe a bit too much, they could roll into a dangerous area.
Okay, that's important.
The other thing I had heard from a source is that a lot of the bench seats in the excuse me everybody, but now the chair is on a bad.
Yeah, I'm rocking myself here.
But it's tough when you don't have the studio upgrades. What they're trying to do with some of the bench seats is get them for the possible covering of the 33, where when the bocce tournaments come in, they would have seating.
They'd have seating. They'll put AstroTurf over them. No, they're not going to do that. They're going to cut the backs off, lay them across the 33, put some AstroTurf on them, and then there is no seating, but they'll plant a tree.
Well, it is an idea that would, because that's a gigantic gaping hole there.
It's a gaping hole.
And we need to reunite that community.
Got to reunite them. They can't see each other. They can't walk across the viaduct. They can't do that.
No, families there lost touch.
Well, the white man did it again.
Right. Families lost touch of, I used to live right over there. Now all I do is see your house. I'm sorry, but we grew up here in Cheektowaga. The 33 did indeed go right through our neighborhood. In fact, it's
cut Maryville Drive,
a stone's throw from right here, and we either went under in spots or over the provided walkways to still see and unite with friends.
Yeah.
So
also, I think the reality is we got in our freaking cars and drove.
Well, that too, but it never.
They don't have cars
stopped
there?
us.
There's no cars there.
I think it's kind of too like making people vote with ID. They don't have no idea what to do.
No.
What ID? What do you mean?
Stunned, yeah.
But anyways, that's going to be exciting. I also heard, seriously, Pagulas are very interested in. They're going to do some upgrades to KeyBank Center,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very interested in bringing in NCAA basketball here. Not only are local teams playing there more, but
Well, we've had the quarterfinals.
right, but they want to get like bigger games, bigger attractions, and possibly getting an NBA game or two, maybe preseason, maybe not, and much needed, maybe some type of recognition of the Buffalo Braves, and not only that, like maybe some of the college players and stuff too. You know, make a little.
Yeah, that's a great point. And if you go back to the stadium for a minute, the Bills are going crazy with. They have been asked in the past to have Major League Soccer come in and play, and they couldn't because the pitch, i.e., the field, is too big for Rich.
Right.
So they're gonna. It's big enough for there now. They said they're looking at not only concerts, but they're looking at all kinds of stuff. They said they really want to have about 30 events a year.
Well, they say that a lot too, and hopefully they come true with that. I know there's a sumo wrestling tournament that they're trying to bring in.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear a huge diaper.
That and there's a lot of multi, what I want to say, gender sports events planned.
Yeah, I like the fencing between a former man and a woman.
Right. Now, personally, if that was my daughter, I would have said, aim for. Nah, I can't say that. Anyways.
Take off this first thing.
Yeah. No, it's exciting. And anyways, the upgrades down to KeyBank Center and fix that. Not fix that, but upgrade it and try to get some basketball down there. Which brings me up to, I attended the other night the UB women's game at Alumni, and they beat Cleveland State. It was really a fun atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a cool atmosphere.
The band was there, and God bless the UB Bulls. They played tenacious. They had a phenomenal season. They were unbeaten for quite a ways of their season.
They were.
Lost in their tournament and lost their bid for the NCAA. But this is so much better. You look at the starting lineups. Cleveland State threw out, I think, one girl that was 6'3". Everybody else was like 5'11". If UB wins and they go to the NCAA and they're playing LSU, they're playing a front line of 6'4". And now with this NIL crap, it doesn't matter anymore. Oh, they went to the NCAAs, I'm going there. They go where they get the money.
Yeah.
And these teams now, a good player on UB, say, is taken over to play for Maryland and be the 14th girl on the bench.
Yeah.
It's kind of wrecking college sports, but...
I like the NIT, given that, if you look at us, yes, we're a big school, but we're not a big school for athletics. We got a lot of students that are Indian and Jewish and
with this NIL,
and Asian,
too,
and they don't play sports. They're just all there.
With the guys that follow the college more than I do, we played last week. Who did we play? Doggone it, to play Cleveland State. I can't think of the team we played.
I forgot.
My God, Tommy. But they started like 5 fifth-year graduates in their lineup.
Well, that's the other thing.
UB had none of them.
It's kind of like Pete at ECC.
Right.
7 years of college.
Well, Tony Acuto was the all-time leading goal scorer for ECC soccer in 12 seasons played in a 2-year school. But I can't think of who Cleveland, the Bulls beat.
Yeah, I don't know. We're
for
playing
crying
Troy,
out
but
loud.
I don't know.
And now we'll play Troy. But it was fun, guys. If anybody's free, that was really an exciting thing. I can't attend Saturday. We have a couple of events, and but I think the kids might go because it's at 5:00.
Right.
But it was fun. We took Aaron. It really was a good time. And my daughter said to me, I went with my daughter, and she said, "Dad, is this your first college game?" And I actually thought for a second, no, I attended Canisius Northeastern. There was a big rivalry with Canisius back in the day. And remember they had Reggie Lewis?
Yes.
And we had Ray Holland Schmeck, and there was like 15,000 people. It was crazy.
It was nuts back then.
It was really awesome. So no, that was my and I also attended the World University Games when they were here, the college basketball. We saw eventually USA beat Canada, and Turner Battle, who's a UB star, was the star for UB, and Michael Meeks, who was a Canisius player, was actually a star forward for the Canadian team. But and I'm pretty sure I got those names right, and I'm sure if not, we'll get letters and postcards sent to the station. But it was really fun, and I'd recommend if anybody doesn't have anything to do Saturday afternoon. The game started at 6. It was over by 8:10.
Yeah.
They do have some strange, lengthy timeouts, but to the point where they're really, you almost think guys have to restretch or girls have to restretch. But it was really fun, a great experience. I would definitely go to a UB game again.
Yeah, I've seen some college hockey games, Canisius,
Same here.
ECC. I don't know. I have been to a couple. Me and Alex went with a friend of Al's. We went to Syracuse. When UB played Syracuse. And we beat them. That was about 5-10 years ago.
And you know, this area has quite a few, over the years, we've put a lot of our star local kids into the NBA. But girls playing here, there's quite a few girls, I don't know their names, I'm sorry, but playing in the NCAA tournament, or at least were.
Yeah.
And
maybe onto the WNBA.
Yes, and there was a local girl that plays for Lancaster High School. I think she's a senior. She actually had 2 or 3 dunks this year, and she's going on to Old Miss. So a lot of good basketball in this area. Mm-hmm. And Damon College just had a unbeaten season, and unfortunately lost in the Division II tournament in, I think, what was called the Final 8. Mm-hmm. They lost their second game and didn't get a chance to go on to the finals. But kudos to them over there too. And Donnie DeBella helped build that gym at Damon. But anyways,
enough about round ball because
right.
our constituents don't really love.
Well, we're talking local guys. You got to get involved.
So what else? We got the Sabres. They're playing really well, really well. They've won 7 of the last 10 or 8 of the last 12. Playing great. My only fear is that I've looked back and we've done the same thing at the end of every year. So we've got to somehow bridge the summer and training camp and be ready to come out of the chute next year. And I think the talent is starting to show. And I think, as I said last week, that Darlene's grabbing them by the shirt collar now and saying, "You want to be here? I got to see it."
Well, Adams, I think, has put together a decent roster for what he's allowed to do. I know if you listen to the local shit, they'll tell you with trades and this and that. It's very difficult, guys. We're not going to blow time on that. You have to have a trade partner. We're getting blasted on national radio because we traded inside the division with Dylan Cousins. Now he can come back to Buffalo and wave it in our face. I'm done with our team being put down. I'm done with all of that. That shows you what you can get for Cousins, right? A good kid. I hope he does well. We got Norris for him, of similar ilk, and there wasn't much of a market there. And these geniuses out there will tell you to do this, and then when you do that, oh, that's not right. Well, they're always right.
They're always right because they don't do anything.
But Adams has a nice team in Rochester. They clinched a playoff spot. We have a lot of talent there. We do need a little more NHL grit. But guys, Mike Greer was a player who now is the GM of San Jose, and he's a genius. He just was a player. He wasn't a been there, done that GM like our local shit tells us. Hire Chuck Fletcher. But is anybody blasting Greer as what are they going to make any moves? What are they doing? What are they doing?
Well, it's real nice too. They talk about their young team. Well, they're getting number 1 overall picks.
Right, and you have to have patience, as San Jose's going to have. If you decide to go young, you got to have patience with the young. Get their games in. Goaltending. Wow. Devin Levi. Every time he's come up, he sucks. What are we going to do? UPL sucks. Look at these goalies around the league. Let's take a look at the goalies around the league. First off, Ryan Miller didn't have a great up a few times with the Sabres. Put up numbers down there which Levi is matching, if not exceeding. Good sign, right? Number 2, these goalies around the league, other than a few, how many of them were homegrown by the team and moved right up and here we go, stopping everything?
Yeah, I don't know.
Not many.
Probably a handful.
But Bobrovsky, Aiden Hill, Markham, these guys were all traded.
Yeah.
So it's a tough position. I admit you're going to have to take a look at this next year because if UPL is going to be shaky, you can't throw it all on Levi yet, but I think Levi deserves NHL time, right?
It's going to be interesting because so many ways you can go. You can say, well, UPL showed us he's good, he'll come out of it, okay, and then Levi will back him up. Or they're going to say, look, we just saw a whole year of, 852, not good enough. You go and trade for a really good NHLer, and then you weave Levi in and make a move and just trade UPL. I'm not saying to do this. I'm saying here's some of the options, right? And they've got to figure it out, though, because I am sick and tired of us scoring 5 goals and losing 8-5 because UPL had a 712 save percentage.
Not many people in the NHL are trading like good goaltenders, right? So that would be a tricky move. It might be us trading for a like situation from another team, but when you look back at history, you look at how these players in hockey, for example, dominate at their levels before they move up, right? Kulik was voted one of the 3 best forwards in the world at his age bracket for quite a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a good feeling. He went to the AHL and had a very nice season down there, if not 2 maybe.
Yeah.
So you can say, okay, he did well there. Now he's coming up. UPL did okay for his Finnish teams. Then, if I'm not mistaken, went into the OHL and did good.
You mean the AHL?
No, college. Before he came here, juniors,
Okay.
and I think he was okay. And in the AHL, when he played down there, he got about 902.
Yeah.
9. So
He didn't light it up.
Right. So
Average.
he was good in all the spots where Levi dominated
At each spot.
at college. And now, honestly, guys, he's dominating the AHL, which
Yep.
gives us hope. That doesn't mean next year he's going to dominate, but it does give us some hope. And I think the Sabres and their analytics have to really take a look at
They
that.
have to look at it. And we talked about this before. You mentioned reading that, a really good prospect needs 100 games in the
There's like
AHL. And that was really for forwards and deep. But I was reading something in The Athletic that said the same applies to goalies. And they went and gave a ton of examples. And the really good goalies played near or over 100 games. And Levi only had 62.
Right.
So I don't know what that means. Do you get them another half year? I don't know. But that's going to be one of their biggest. There's 2 big things coming up, right? Number one is probably, excuse me, it's coming.
Gesundheit.
Yeah,
he's going to the Rhine. So
I got to go to the Rhines River on the Tuesday. But you have to figure out a couple things. Goaltending, we're just talking about, huge. Secondly, you got to improve the D a little bit in front of that goalie. Not terribly, but you got to improve it. And then maybe one more veteran to come in and round out with Zucker and Greenway, when Greenway can ever be on the ice, to take charge of this with Darlene and really round this team out. We've got great individual talent, or at least very good, and they're not a team, and they haven't been. Now, lately they have been, but again, we've seen this. We need 82 games of at least some consistency.
Well, they have to. You throw out the highs and lows, the cliffs of Acapulco, and the highs have been good for the Sabres. Not phenomenal, but playoff good.
Yes.
The lows have been bad, but that streak, we lost a lot of 1-goal games, but we also lost Darlene and Thompson. Now, everybody's going to say sick of excuses. Well, when you're running a team, it is what it is.
Well, it's tight, and they showed a lot of stats that when Darlene doesn't play, and not just the 13, I guess he missed 9 of those, 8 or 9. But when he doesn't play, the Sabres are really bad as far as statistics and analytics and losing.
Right.
They need him. He's a captain for a reason. He's a phenomenal player, and he's getting better every year. So
and when you mix that with a young team, it's catastrophic.
Yeah.
Now, a more veteran team, Darlene hurts an ankle and he's out a month.
Mm-hmm.
You overcome it.
You
guys, but when you're young, and then the goaltending guys just wasn't that good, and people say, "Well, the shot." Now, you know what? Wayne brought up a great stat. It's expected goals, or what should have went in.
Yeah.
Some of those 7 bangers should have been 5, but now it's 5-4.
Well, the other day I was looking at that was last Saturday actually, so 6 days ago. Philadelphia put 7 up on us. They beat us 7-4. The expected goals based on where they were shooting from and everything was 2.8. So we win 4-3 in a normal with a goaltender that's just supposed to do what he's supposed to do.
And you'll hear the local shit say, "Well, trade UPL." Okay, what are you, a gunpoint?
I'm not saying that.
UPL takes the. No, I'm saying what our so-called experts tell the people that are listening for advice. Well, just trade him. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get everybody for him. I just think that's a huge decision. Another big decision is, and Tom, I was going to say, we don't disagree on this, we just don't know, is that with the huge cap increase, there's some thought that some of these GMs are going to throw offer sheets out there. Now, 2 of the guys that could be scary for us if that happens is Peterka and probably more Bo and Byram. So those are guys that are restricted. And by the way, so McLeod. Now, I think they're definitely inking McLeod. I don't think.
I wouldn't be surprised if you don't even see that soon.
And exactly. But now you only have till July 1st. Then they become eligible for those offer sheets. Now, it doesn't happen much. Holloway, and not Waldman, the other guy. Oh God, I forget. It doesn't matter.
Right,
Defenseman. Came from Edmonton and went to St. Louis. Well, Holloway was just a kind of well, we see he's got potential. He's got 28 goals. Broberg's his name, the defenseman. Broberg came in. He's playing great for him. They've won 11 in a row. The last time they did that, they won the Stanley Cup. St. Louis is on a tear, of course. So the bottom line is it looks like between the cap skyrocketing and then that, you may see some offer sheets. So they have to be very careful. They have money. You don't have to give away $11 million a year to Byram and everything, but you're going to pay. I would say try to go. You'll probably get Quinn cheap. Get him a couple of years. I think Paterka's going to get at least 5 years. He's not going to go. He's not going to stay for a bridge, 2-3 year bridge.
No, and I think the league's getting away from throwing the 8 years at everybody.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, it is, and
You should anyway with the guaranteed bullshit.
with the guaranteed shit and the no trade and all that. So anyway, it'll be interesting. You know, we've been here before. We've talked about this every fucking April, and every year we get all excited.
And guys, that's why it's so important. Before you want to hang a noose out on Kevin Adams and let him go or move him up, okay, but Cosmonis would have to be the next guy up, because otherwise, you bring in somebody, they don't know what we got down there. We might even have a few of our prospects due for contracts that have played in Rochester.
Yeah.
And someone could come in and outbid us on some of those guys. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a critical time. I think the Sabres know what they got. And to mention the Edmonton guys that got taken, we have one here. Edmonton had such cap issues that we were able to get McLeod. Yeah. And he's a hockey player.
He's a hell of a hockey player. He's had his best year ever. And he's showing it. And he's a 200-foot guy. And he's a face-off guy. And no, exciting about that was a really nice move. And you know what? The kid will probably do really well down the line, Savoy. But that's okay. I hope he does. As far as us, we've got prospects. Now we got a guy that's 24, 25 years old and can play hockey.
Is a guy that needs a contract.
Yep.
Could get poached.
That's true. We got to be careful.
I don't know if you want to be changing a lot of your management right now just because the Yellow Pages think so. And I also don't want to keep a guy that doesn't belong in his position either.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I don't think Adams has done that poor of a job to just hang him.
What's funny thing is we go back and forth on this. There's talent. We just haven't turned it into a team.
Right.
It's individual talent. And why is that?
Well, I think you got to forget about the 14 years. But look at the last 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's what
I don't think we had the greatest leadership. I don't think Oposo was a good captain. I'm sorry. I know Gianta wasn't.
Right.
All right. Because shit was going on in the locker room under his leadership. But young guys have to take some of the responsibilities for that too.
Yeah.
And we talk about the power play. It's horrible. These guys have played a power play since they're 5.
Yeah.
It's time to start getting your heads out of your asses. Was Thompson good? Well, he's shown us that he's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Right. Darlene's good. We have talent here. Our young guys are getting more mature and starting to play better, and it's part of the puzzle too. And when the Sabres start getting the injuries like with Thompson and Darlene, now you're sliding guys into a slot where maybe they don't belong. Look at the Sabres with the third line was Stafford, Vanek, and Derek Roy. Kicked ass as a third line. Then the summer of loss, and we moved those guys up, and it wasn't quite the same right away.
Yeah, they couldn't play against the better guys
because it's a big jump, And we have an owner now that's not, I don't think, going to allow that at least to happen. Like the last ownership group didn't want to put the money out.
Yeah,
this owner will, and I think the analytics department and stuff, it's going to be an interesting time for sure, but the poaching is something that you'd have to watch out for. I think watch for the extensions coming and not the qualifying offers. That's where you can get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. So, Sabres, they've been fun to watch. I watch them. I love the team. I'm frustrated, of course.
Got a letter the other day that asked me. I get on our local commentator because he apparently was the final cut of the U.S. Olympic team. They asked me my credentials. I too was very close to the USA in 1980. Had I skated and was playing any type of club hockey or college hockey, I would have been invited to the 500-player camp in Colorado Springs. So. They just wouldn't let me go on the ice with my suction cup sneakers.
Had I skated.
But anyways, just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, so Okay, Bills, we're I'll be going away, but when I get back, we got 4 days time.
Draft show. We're not sure about our location. Got a couple great ideas. Stay tuned.
And stay tuned. We got our draft show. We'll dig in when I get back from the Rhine, signs of Topoff. And we'll put together a show, and it'll be exciting. Now it's very tough. You guys know over the last few years because we're drafting 30th, and it's, we're going to be at 11:30 at night whether we pick, and then we could trade it. We can trade down, it can move forward. We don't know. So
last year, the poor barbershop, we were being thrown out as they were closing. Kept trading back.
Yeah.
But,
so we'll see how it goes. But 30 is tough. But we'll have some discussions and thoughts. We probably will go on later because we're not going to be on for 4 hours.
A couple of, and we've learned and got some experience now to how to do that too. Mm-hmm. So watch for us coming live and on and off throughout the day.
Yeah.
We can't end without saying. If you see a local Democrat, ask them why they support the illegals and not American people. I mean, we're fighting for this Father of the Year that was mistakenly taken, and he's suffering.
He's afraid of the rival gangs.
He had a simple tattoo. Now, guys, I have a tattoo here, half moon with a 61 in honor of my son and my dad and everything. This guy had a 13 tattooed on his back with an arrow pointing to his ass.
Well, probably.
Right? It's not just a simple tattoo.
Tell him what a 13 means.
It's what is it?
Taekwondo Waga?
Yeah, but Shuko, it's no, it's not change. It's the MS-13 gang.
Oh, okay.
And they're proud of it. It's not just and it was a dad of the year. It was like Mr. Brady. It was like Father Knows Best. It was like My Three Sons with the guy. This guy is a gangbanger. The judge found him guilty of being a high-ranking member of MS-13. He wasn't found guilty of anything because Pedro and Mana did the crimes, not him, man. And the judge said, put him on probation from ICE for 6 years, this liberal judge.
That was 19. He's been wandering the streets committing crimes for 6 years. You know what Trump said? Get him the hell out of here.
So they put him to Guatemala, but there was an agreement with the judge that he couldn't go there because now rival gangs,
they could kill him.
As we speak, he could be getting fondled.
Probably what do they call it? Shanked?
Hey, listen. And here's what I say: who gives a shit? Now these broads protesting in Colombia. I guess they don't go to school there. 40,000 a semester. Here's what I say: go take a dime or a cell phone and go give somebody that gives a fuck. I could care less about free Mahmoud, free Mahmoud, free Mahmoud, free Mahmoud. Send them the hell out of here. Right?
And I tell you, Kathy Hochul and those buck teeth. I was hoping that last beam would swing and knock her buck teeth out. But she says now, we fired 2,000 COs. Now, what are we going to do? Well, don't hire them back. She says her answer is, let the criminals out of prison.
Let some more shit on the streets where she's surrounded by armed sheriffs.
Just what we need.
But not us. But it's going great, guys. I know the tariffs came in. Oh, my God, how can we tariff Canada? It's time. This guy's got a plan to bring back business here.
Yeah.
The great healer, whatever the hell, Jill Biden, who was actually the first woman president. I don't know who was president. But we're bringing business here. Our country was going bankrupt. We don't make anything here. The Chinese are circling the wagons, right?
Yeah.
And when they come in here, all these lefties, cut the military. We need to feed more inner city illegals. Well, the Chinese are going to come in and pork you in your ass after they try to pork me. All right? So, no. The hell with the global economy.
Yeah. And here's what I ask, okay? I live on the stock market. I have no wages except as an usher, okay? So, yeah, am I a little nervous when it plummets 1,500 points? Absolutely. But let's give it a chance. It's the only guy who put his money where his mouth is. Every other person keeps talking about the trade deficit and does nothing because they're afraid, okay? This guy's trying it. Give it time. Let's see what happens, okay? The market will not plummet forever and we're all doomed.
By the way, it's Main Street versus Wall Street, guys. The market is based by a lot of these global sons of bitches. Mm-hmm. They don't want America to be more interior. They like it the way it is. Trump's looking them in the eye and saying, excuse me, who's going to blink first? Relax with the stock market right now. Mine's affected too. But by the way, I've taken a bath the last few years under that shit-stained son of a bitch. So let's just see what happens here. But do you really think that Trump, let's destroy the country so me and a couple of my rich friends can just eat cake?
Yeah.
No,
by the way, for all of you out there that are worried, so worried that you're going to pull hundreds of thousands out and put it in your mattress by putting in a savings account at 2%. First of all, you won't ride the wave back and you'll get killed. Secondly, the market will sell off faster. So it's self-perpetuating for everybody who takes a ton of money out of that market. You're going to sell low, you're going to buy high to get back in, and the market's going to plummet for you.
And read labels, buy American.
Yeah, buy American.
Buy American and stuff. And you know what? These things will all be negotiated. The Wall Street's trying to F with Trump. And you know what? One last comment that irks my ass. We didn't vote for Musk. And I didn't vote for George frigging Soros either.
Exactly. Enough
Hypocrites.
of that. That's all hypocrites. All right. Goodbye,
Listen,
everybody.
Robinson family, so sorry for your loss.
Yes.
Norm's up with Rose and his dad Normie now, and everybody out there that's down under the weather, get better fast, right?
Yep, absolutely. Tomorrow, big celebration for my first and only grandson, Owen. He was one. Now the celebration's tomorrow. I love him to death. It's given me new life. He's been unbelievable. And then going to Europe I've been to UK, but I've never been to mainland Europe. This will be fun. And I'll be back, and then we'll do the draft show and go from there.
There we go. So do good, be good. God bless. Say a prayer with your family,
Bills.
because the family that prays together stays together. And go Buffalo.
Wait, one last thing. Haley Steinfeld was on that hypocrite Jimmy Fallon.
Oh.
And he did bring up, he said, I hear you're engaged. She says, yes. And he goes, yeah, he brought the picture out of when Josh was kneeling and giving her the ring. And he goes, to Josh Allen, just a fantastic quarterback who we think got jobbed this year.
Right.
And then she said, yes. And she said, and she goes, he said, you've been really embraced by the city of Buffalo. She goes, oh, the people are just unbelievable. She's so humble, you can see it.
Awesome.
As opposed to that last rag. Anyway, one last thing. And they showed the billboard they put up on Chippewa in Delaware that said Queen of Buffalo.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Proud of him, proud of her, and hey, let's go Buffalo.
Baby. All right, guys. Have a good one.
See y'all soon.
I don't have it.
Yeah, we lost it. Timmy!
My God, we do have it. Amazing.